Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great yourself.
I'm good. I'm good. Sleepy, but I'm good. I'm good.
All right.
Welcome, welcome. How's your week been? Thank you so much. I want to personally thank you so much. That was so sweet. I appreciate that. I said, wait a minute. This I know you've been raised right. And it wasn't even about
Yeah,
that. But I was like, wait a minute. Hold up.
it was a pleasure. Listen, and let me congratulate you, Mrs. Masters of Public Health from
Yay, thank
the
you.
George Washington University.
Yes. Raise high, raise high. Oh my God, it's been great. Because I had never been to the campus. And all of the times I've ever been to DC, I've never been to their campus. I've been to Howard several times. But never been here. And it's crazy. It's like office building. It doesn't feel like a campus to me. Campus that I'm used to traditionally seeing, where stuff off and green and everything is kind of connected. I mean, you do have space and stuff far apart, but this just looks like I'm like, is this the campus? It looks like just an office building, but it was great. It's been fun. I got to see a couple of people that I've had classes with. I talked with the guy who and I don't even know his name because he just swooped in at our table. We was like, well, hello. He was the one that they had a reception afterwards and they separated us by floors. And we did the online course, so all the online people were in one area. And he was I guess the founder of the online program. And he was just over the moon with the amount of people that actually came in from different areas. And when I tell you they had folks, I had class with people from that were in Korea and I mean all over the world. And it was just amazing to
Wow.
see how many people. The funny part, look, let me get my tea. Wait a minute, here we go. Let me just sip. So we had these cards and you were supposed to put your name on the card and then how you phonetically say your name on the card. When I tell you that this man, first of all, the first man, you could barely hear him. I'm like, well, what is he calling names? Look, like, because you couldn't hear him. The other lady was killing. Y'all know how I feel about names and making sure people's names is, because I get nervous. I feel like that's who you are, part of your identity. Don't butcher the name. Killing their names. And then bust out laughing like, oh my man, I'm sorry. So and so and so. I said, wait a minute. So it got to the point where people wouldn't, they stopped walking. Like they wouldn't move until they heard her say their name, and then it corrected them or corrected her if the name was if she didn't pronounce the name correctly, and then they went on. I was hollering. It was hilarious, rolling. But other than that, it's been great. It's been a great week. I still got one paper to turn
Good.
in that I'm still working on, but other than that, it's all gravy. And I got to meet the lady that I intern with, and so it's been great meeting her and hanging out with her. And she trying to show me DC in 5 minutes. Ma'am, if you don't take me back to my hotel so I can do my work. So,
This
but it's been good. How's your week?
it's been fine. DC is so tight. It is you can tell it's an old city. It is very tight.
Very,
And
I
it's
mean,
I just
I don't know how they doing it. I was like, I don't think I would ever drive here. Ever drive here. I know they say never, but it would probably have to be an emergency situation where I'm taking the because it is confusing, convoluted. Folks, folks just getting in where they fit in, moving out. I was like, oh my God. And the lady was laughing. She was like, so I know I drive Miss Daisy because she's not from here, but she's learned she's like, you got to be aggressive. You got to get it. I said, aggressively, you see this car right here with no bumper? That's what aggression gonna get you. It's crazy. But
I
yeah.
lived there for
Uh,
4 months. I was like, this is not for me.
Really? You didn't like it at all? And I'm in Alexandria. I'm not even in DC proper. I'm in Alexandria. But, we had to go into DC. And even it's a little more laid back here. There are some, but you got to get here through there. And so I was like, wow. Yeah, last time I was here, our healthcare compliance convention normally comes here. And it's at the harbor. So I'm used to being on that side. And then we had a church trip here. And I think we stayed near the harbor because I remember walking back and forth to the mall. And then I've also stayed in Alexandria, but I was closer to water because I remember taking a water taxi back and forth. So yeah, but I love the water. So that's always been a plus. But okay. Enough about me. Let me get started. Look, we can have the meeting after the meeting, and we can get into all of the things. Well, welcome to our Saturday morning tea, where we discuss health information, news, education, certification tips, entrepreneurship, the revenue cycle at large, and things that will help you be a marketable health professional. Okay. Healthcare professional. Let me say it that way. I'm Clarice Warner, the girl with the pearls, the founder and senior education director of the Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC, where coding education is key. PRN is a healthcare compliance consultancy located in Cincinnati, Ohio, that specializes in revenue cycle and regulatory compliance, as well as education. Let me ask, speaking of education, do you know what it takes to be a certified marketable medical coder? Do you? Do you really? Well, if you watch some of my videos and if you've been with us, you should know. Before I introduce my illustrious co-host, let me share with you information on a free email course on the 5 steps to become a certified marketable medical coder.
Are you interested in medical coding, but not sure where to start and scared of wasting time and resources? Let me help you with the right steps to become a certified marketable medical coder. Learn more at bit.ly/5stepscoder.
I'm over here rocking to this beat and stuff is shaking. I was like, see, if all this stuff fall on the floor, I'm just going to tell you now. Mr. Jesse, you keep going. That's all I got. Okay. Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness. That is crazy. I'm looking like it is straight rocking and moving. Okay. So if you are interested in getting more information about the 5 steps to become a certified marketable medical coder, and you are joining us via YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, check the video description box for the link. I know it's a lot of stuff in there, but I promise you that information is down there. Wait a minute. And I meant to say this too. I see your link right there. I said, look at him doing new things. You better do it. You better do it. I love it. Okay. So welcome to the coding nurse folks as well. Before we, let me get to you. Joining me today is my co-host. Yes, Mr. Jesse, the registered trademark. Put some respect on his name, the coding nurse. Sir, introduce yourself and tell the folks all about you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jesse. I live in Philadelphia. I have been an LPN for 30 years. During the pandemic, I created a company called the Coding Nurse LLC, where I help nurses and other healthcare professionals with clinical backgrounds transition into the wonderful, wonderful world of HIM.
And isn't it wonderful?
It really is. So many options, so many ways to get in where you fit in.
Yes, and just information on information, knowledge on knowledge, paths on paths, skills on skills. It's just all of the things. You never can go wrong. All right, all right. Let's see. Good morning, Renita. Good morning, and good morning to the Crafty Coder. Happy Saturday. Yes, happy Saturday. All right, all right. So today, let me get rid of that. Y'all know I act like I've never done this before, right? Look, I didn't got brand new. I'm over here broadcasting live from Alexandria, Virginia, and I'm getting brand new. All right. Before we jump in, let me remind you that you are part of the conversation and you can join in and add to the conversation anytime you like. Don't be shy. It's all right. We family here. We family here. Now, I believe a billion or so folks may hear and see you. I'm speaking that into existence. However, your opinion matters. Always know that your opinion matters and it's definitely welcomed here. So for my Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn friends, you know what to do. Place your comments in the chat. We're right here with the chat. We have wonderful, delightful conversations, comical also, conversations in the chat. So make sure you use that feature. If you have a question, all I ask is that you type a Q first, especially if you're new here and we don't know who you are and whether the question is for us or a question is for someone else in the chat. So put the Q first and we will make sure not to miss it. So let's get into our session today. So for those of you who are just joining us, today we're talking about guilty pleas and audit prep. But first, church announcements. Let me ask, Mr. Jesse, do you have any church announcements?
No, not at this time.
All right. Anybody? I know the Crafty Coder, she be out there in these streets, in these health information streets. Are there? Yeah. Do you have any church announcements? If so, feel free to put them in the. Oh, I didn't even do the thing. Feel free to put them in the chat. My only church announcement, I guess, if you will, is I just want to thank everybody for all the warm well wishes and congratulations and all of the things. You all have been with me through this entire journey, believe it or not. We would have in between studying, in between the clients that I serve, in between caretaking, in between my household duties, in between all of the things. You have been here with me in this endeavor, and I appreciate you and I thank you, and thank you for the grace that you always provide. Thank you for the laughter that you provide, because sometimes you never know. I probably needed to cry, and you all gave me some laughter, so I appreciate you all and thank you so much for this. And so I'm excited for the next step and the next chapter and what we all are going to do in this season. So thank you for that. Let's see. We got some comments. Question. Let me see. Congratulations. Thank you. She's like, I was on hiatus until after my birthday. Well, happy birthday. Happy birthday. You better do it. So we have a question from Sandra James. How is the coding course going with the West Coast nurses?
I was just typing in the chat. Sandra, it's not, because I didn't get enough interest. So now I have a course for the East Coast nurses that's going to start on Monday, June 5th at 6 p.m.
And wait a minute, I'm about to. Where's my tea? Hold on. Here we go. I'm sorry. I don't remember any announcements about any of these people, any of these courses with the East Coast, West Coast. I don't recall any of those announcements being said here. Sir, you have a whole platform right here. You get a whole church announcements of whatever it is that you got going on. Sir, use what you got, sir. Use what you got. Right. So, okay, you family, this is us. This is us. If it ain't nobody else, this is us. Use what you get. This is the table that we built for us to provide information for folks. So yeah, use what you got. Definitely. Look, other people I may question and side eye and lift an eyebrow, but this us. Use what you got. So you got an East Coast program going?
Well,
for
it's
nurses?
starting on. It's starting on Monday, June 5th.
Now, what type of program? Is it strictly just coding, or are you doing CDI,
It's,
or what are you doing? Tell us, sir.
it's an ICD-10 CM course. It's the foundational course for people who have clinical experience, because I don't teach anatomy, physiology, pathophysiology, or pharmacology. So people in healthcare already have that knowledge. So I go right into the guidelines. We dive in the deep end and swim our way
Okay.
out in 8 weeks.
All right. Ooh, I know y'all out there swimming, because my whole course is 14 weeks, and oftentimes I have people who are fresh on the island. They have no idea. So we do go through all of the, they get a brief medical terminology, so they walking away with a language. We go anatomy, physiology, we do all of the things. So yeah.
Okay.
Unless I have those, and I have a separate course that is designed specifically for those who may have let their certification lapse for whatever reason. For whatever reason, or who've been in the field and don't necessarily require that additional 3 weeks of education. So yeah. Okay. All right. I feel better now. Oh, that was you. I'm like, what is that? Okay. Yeah. And so in the chat, he's giving them more information. I'll let it show. La la. East Coast, starting Monday, June 5th, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or day. Is it daytime time? See, I've been saying it wrong. I haven't. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to change my whole my little spiel. All right. So let's get into it. So, we've talked about the stuff going on with the Department of Justice and the fraudulent nursing diploma operation that was going on. And we talked about when it first hit, and the backlash, all the things that occurred, and conversations that were had both from the professional nursing healthcare side and just your average layperson side. But the Department of Justice are playing no games with none of these people. And I guess they feeling the heat, or have felt the heat, so much so that a group of them have decided that, what, we ain't gonna waste taxpayers' money. We're gonna just go ahead and plead guilty. We're gonna do what we feel we need to do. So 5 of the dozens, and there are several defendants all over, but 5 of the dozens of defendants that were charged in the Southern District of Florida for their participation in the whole operation that created the illegal licensing and employment shortcut, if you will, for nurses, have pled guilty to wire fraud conspiracy. I'm not certain whether or not there are additional charges that may be levied, or was it just strictly wire fraud? If that was the low-hanging fruit and that was the easiest thing to get, I don't know. And then others, these may be just like the low-hanging fruit. Others may be charged with some higher offenses. But these folks,
they have charges pending in Maryland.
Yes, because they're doing it at the same time. And so those might be the higher one. This might be just the lower, or what Florida could get off. But they each face up to 20 years in federal prison. Some of them have admitted, so during they had their guilty hearings, and some of them admitted to soliciting and recruiting people who sought nursing credentials that would allow them to work as registered licensed practical or vocational nurses. They also admitted to working with Palm Beach School of Nursing, and that's the school that was at the height of this investigation, to create and distribute fraudulent diplomas and transcripts representing that the aspiring nursing candidates had attended the school and completed the necessary courses and clinicals to obtain their nursing diplomas. But the facts are that the aspiring nurses had not completed the courses and clinicals. And one of the defendants, Crystal Lopez, admitted that in her role as Palm Beach School of Nursing's finance director, she processed applications for individuals who were issued fraudulent nursing school diplomas and transcripts, and that each student paid the school $15,000 for the documents. The defendants all admitted to profiting from this scam. So, yeah, the criminal matter, there's more criminal things coming down the pike from Maryland. So there will definitely be more to come on that. But this came from the Ohio State Attorney's Office from the Southern District of Florida. It was released. It was a press release on Monday. So I wanted to, since we have already been talking about this, I thought, hey, let's give an update. Mr. Jesse, you have any comment?
This is just one of many schools that had done this. So I'm curious to see what they do with the, with the people who are at, because it was, I think it wasn't 3 or 5 schools that were targeted initially. So this is just, one school. So we're going to see, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out with other, with the other, I guess, defendants and the other programs, to see just how widespread this is. But also a little caveat, the Board of Nursing in Maryland has taken it a step further, because I didn't go to check, because I was once licensed in Maryland. It's just expired. But they apparently have put all of their licensees, everybody, and their status on their website. So like the ones where they asked them to surrender and they didn't surrender, all that information is supposedly on their website.
Wow. Wow. So hopefully these organizations are doing their due diligence and going out and verifying and validating this information on their licenses. Wow. So they put everybody business out in these streets. Ooh, jeez. Yep. That's she said Florida State embarrassing me. Renita said, as a graduate LPN, the disrespect. Definitely. Yeah, we talked about the wire fraud. Do tell. Yes. I know, right? That's crazy to me, on lapsing your earned certificate. Yes, I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all. Y'all, please don't let the certification lapse. I ain't taking these tests again. Lord, please. Let me find all coins to do whatever it is I need to do. And we have talked even here about free ways to obtain your CEUs. So there's several opportunities, several things that you can do. I told you all about the coordinating committee where they do the ICD-10, CM, and PCS updates and code changes, and they have those coordinating and maintenance meetings twice a year. Those are a 2-day event. That's 16 CEUs. That's 32 CEUs right there for the year. If you get an opportunity to view it. Believe you need to view it live, but I'm not certain what I'm not 100% sure, because all you have to do is request the CEU, the documents, and they will grant you what you need for both AHIMA and AAPC. So it's out here, y'all. Go get it. Free 99. Let's put you up on a little game. That's a little tea for today. If we don't give any more tea, that's a little pipe of hot tea out the kettle. So yeah, I'm curious as to how these other folks are going to navigate this, and are they gonna fight? And be like, nah, we gonna fight it. But I think I'm still in my feelings that they're not. I like the fact that Maryland is throwing folks under the bus and putting their business out here, because they weren't going to do anything to these nurses. I mean, and it wasn't like you didn't know. You paid the money. I mean, yes, the operation, I mean, you know, it's like The Wire. It's like the game. You know, you gather the corner boys to get to the big dog. I get it, but they're complicit too in some respect, especially if you just paid the money knowing what you knew what you were doing. It wasn't like you were coerced. It wasn't like you know you were forced gums put to your head. Go ahead, get them $15,000 and pretend like you're a nurse, because you have now put hundreds, thousands of folks potentially at risk and in jeopardy, especially if you don't know what you're doing and you playing a nurse in a hospital or a doctor's office.
But you know what I find interesting is there, and I think, well, I think they got caught up because of the scope, because of the amount of people. I think that had they kept it a little lower and under the radar, and had they done it maybe a little better, they just got sloppy and didn't care. It was just a money grab. I think that if they had done it differently, because honestly, I heard some disturbing news like last week about there was somebody graduated from a nursing program. They did all of their rotations in long-term care. Now, how can you do all of your rotations? How do you do pediatrics? How do you do maternity?
Right. And it's my understanding that you were supposed to do it in different venues so you get experience in those different areas. Wow. And long-term care, you don't see no. Who let that off? What? Wow.
So it's a lot.
He said $15,000 for potentially killing people. Right. Oh my God, that's crazy. Yep, guilty is guilty. Get them out of here. Oh, the crafty coder. I'll put that information in the Dropbox. This is where you are. Okay, I'll put that information or in the description, or email me. You can always email me, and I'll send it to you. Let me give you my email. I know I put it somewhere. Here we go. You can email me and I can send you the information. I don't know what I had this for. I had it for something. We never got to it. Okay. Any more? Wait a minute. Where's my tea? Long-term care, easier to hide the dead body. See, the tea is coming even from the chat. The tea is coming from the chat. Yeah. So that always just come. I love it. Oh goodness. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see how the rest of this fares out with all the other people. And I want to know if other states are gonna put folks out there on blast. Like, I'm curious about that. Let us know. It's just, you the post of the nurse, so let us know.
Honestly, I don't think so, because they're being awfully quiet. Like, I mean, I have a sneaking suspicion that they're gonna let this slide. Because they're not. So they feel some kind of way that this got off under their watch, maybe. And technically, because legally these people did not. Their school was an approved school. So it was an accredited program. It would be a whole different story if it wasn't an accredited program. It was a state accredited nursing program. Now, all of them, yeah, because that's how they were eligible to take the boards. You have to be from a state approved program.
Oh, wow.
So I just, now, is it unethical? Is it immoral? Absolutely. But what we really and truly, I mean, unethical and immoral is not illegal all the time.
True.
So, so I because they're being awfully quiet. Like I was expecting like just a huge, massive, like these states were just going to be like snatching licenses left and right. But since that's not happening, I don't think it's going to happen.
So how would they know though? I mean, what?
What do you mean? Like how would the states know?
How would they know
Yeah,
that
because
somebody's license was fraudulent? I know they could target the individual school and then do some detailed digging, but I mean, do they have the resources, the manpower to do all that? One, and then two, do they not monitor this? Is this not something that they audit on a regular basis? Not necessarily the state, but the accrediting body. Do they not come in? I thought there was a whole
thing that they're supposed to. But if you get renewed this year and you go off the rails next year, they're not going to step in unless it's a whole lot of heat. But if you kind of doing what they're doing, they were flying under the radar. And then in terms of the state boards of nursing, like it used to be, well, I guess it's still like that. When I was getting licenses in different states, you have to, everything goes through your state of original licensure where you took your licensing exam. Mm-hmm. They basically vouch for you and say, well, yes, this person went to an accredited program. Yes, this person passed the NCLEX. So then that state says, okay, this person is official, so we can issue a license. So that's how they were able to move around. And now that they go through this clearinghouse called Nurses.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Thank
you. Excuse me. Now nurses
got you sneak no go.
So now nurses should be responsible for gathering that information. They probably do have it because every state reports to them. So when I'm telling, that's why I think they're gonna let it go, because they have a huge database at their disposal. They know exactly who these people are because they know what schools they went to. They know already, but it's just they're not. I just don't think they're going to do anything.
I wonder, we've talked a lot about the AMA and their fight against scope creep and all of that. I wonder if will be some conversations had about this, especially if some of those RNs went on to get their nurse practitioner. I mean, yeah. Ooh.
Some of them did.
Yeah. That's a mess. That's a whole mess.
Oh, it really is.
It's a whole mess. And then for the patients, I mean, they concerned about somebody calling somebody a doctor. Hell, or can you treat me? Can you take care of me? It's a bigger issue. Oh my God.
I mean, these people are traveling, making money.
So when you're a traveling nurse, do you have to have a license in the state that you're traveling in, or do you have
not now because of the nursing compact? You just have to have a compact license. And then you can work in a compact license is good everywhere except for here in Pennsylvania, and it's another state because Pennsylvania hasn't joined a compact yet. So you have to work in Pennsylvania, you have to have a Pennsylvania license.
Okay.
But every place else, you can work anywhere.
Interesting. Oh yeah, that's my tea. I'm not at home, so I'm privileged. I have the little teacups from the Keurig over here. But I do have but this is water. I did bring a cup, but it's water in here. I gotta have a cup everywhere I go. Okay. Any other thoughts or comments on this? Well, let's get to the other thing. All right. So the next
that's
thing.
The juicy one, the other thing.
Yeah, sir. I said, oh my God. So I ran across an article from, please don't let me butcher this man's name, Ritesh Ramesh, who is the CEO of MD Audit. And so I think he got a little skin in the game for writing the article, but that's neither here nor there. That's none of my business. Because I did read his plug. I said, if you don't slide your plug in, I love it. But anyway, so he wanted to remind folks, and that we know with the PHE, with the public health emergency ending, and it ended, if you don't know, should know, May 11th, because all kinds of stuff is unraveling and unfolding and all of the things. Well, he wanted to remind those of us in healthcare that the waivers that were signed and the waivers that were created also went away. And these waivers kind of kept the feds, if you will, or the government at bay. So they couldn't or wouldn't provide some of the audits that they were used to sending you. So you didn't see a whole bunch of, you saw a few trickle in on different things, but you didn't see the bulk of stuff. Because I remember folks used to complain all the time. Oh my God, we got so many demand letters and so many of this. So now that the PHE has ended, you can begin to start seeing more demand letters and changes as a result to your claims, and regulatory and billing practices being more scrutinized by all of the alphabet folks. So your recovery audit contractors, which are your RACs, your Medicare administrative contractors, which are your MACs, the supplemental Medicare review contractors, or SMRCs, unified program integrity contractors, UPICs, targeted probe and educate, even though I like those, TPEs, and comprehensive error rate testing, or CERT. And then your commercial payers will also be following suit and getting in the game. So again, when we had the public health emergency, it allowed for waivers and exceptions and all kinds of flexibilities. And we probably have been involved with most of them, like telehealth, the flexibility, how they relaxed the telehealth rules, how they allowed for telehealth on mobile devices, how they allow for telehealth services, practitioners not necessarily multiple state licenses, where they didn't necessarily have to have a license in a particular state to provide telehealth services. They have relaxed a lot of those things. And so the PHE created all of these waivers, exceptions, and flexibility for almost 200 federal regulations. And that's a whole lot. Most of those fell under Section 1135 of the Social Security Act. Again, which allows CMS to temporarily waive or modify certain Medicare, Medicaid, and CHIP requirements to ensure sufficient availability of healthcare items and services. It also ensured that providers who delivered those services can be reimbursed and exempted from sanctions, unless they were doing some crazy stuff like fraud and abuse. Then they didn't get exemptions from that. So CMS processed more than 250,000 waiver requests throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. So this is going to be a whole bunch of work and a whole bunch of resources and manpower just to unravel and walk back. And so doing that eased the provider's regulatory burden and reduced the number of audits that most of these healthcare organizations, or you all, had to deal with over this 3-year period. Again, with the ending of the PHE, things are going back. It may not go back like overnight, but it slowly but surely. Well, they've known for a while, actually, that when Biden administration announced it, so they've had some time to kind of put some things in play. But hopefully, like, you won't get to your office on Monday and then you get a whole stack of stuff. Hopefully that's not the case. But anyway, some of the things that are going back to pre-pandemic status are looking at different billing patterns, the end of Stark Law waivers, means that CMS will no longer permit the 18 types of referrals and remunerations temporarily allowed under pandemic rules. Without the Emergency Medical Treatment and Active Labor Act waivers, or EMTALA waivers, hospitals cannot screen patients at off-site locations. A 3-day hospitalization is once again required for coverage of skilled nursing facility stays. And that has been a hot button topic. Oh, I've seen information about that for the last 2 weeks. Hotlines are being shut down for physicians, practitioners, and Part A certified providers and suppliers that created isolation facilities to enroll and receive temporary Medicare billing privileges. Leniencies that meet easy cancellation of and or early enrollment in Medicare to provide care to more patients are over. So a lot of these things are going away. And then there were several changes that happened that require healthcare organizations to kind of change how they do their work and processes. And, you know, including an end to the submission of Medicaid claims using the modifier code CR. Remember that you had to add that. That goes away as well. And so, but that exposes them to additional documentation requests, because then they know that those services that have those modifiers on them were provided during this time, which is ripe for auditing. So they put folks in the trick bag, if you will, just with that little modifier. But anyway, so knowledge is power. You know, here on the Saturday Morning Tea, we are all about providing you with information. So this was a great article, and I'll make sure I post the article in the description box. So what folks need to do is get an accounting and an understanding of the waivers that they apply for. So know what types of things are your organization may be faced with changing. And then CMS has put out this this guidance, and I think it is actually really good. Let me see if I could show this. Uh-oh. It would be good if I would. Okay. So they put together this fact sheet. It says CMS waivers, flexibilities, and the transition forward from COVID-19 public health emergency. All right. And this is like gold. I'll put this also in the description box. This breaks it all down. It covers the COVID-19 vaccines, testing, and treatments. It covers telehealth services. It covers healthcare access, the continuing flexibility for healthcare professionals, and inpatient hospital care at home, expanded hospital capacity by providing inpatient care at a patient's home. So it goes through and itemizes all of this information. So for the COVID-19 vaccines, testings, and treatments, you'll see all the list of what's happening as a result of the end of the PHE for both Medicare, Medicaid, and CHIP, and private health insurance. So it's very comprehensive with all of the things that could potentially happen. And it gives some background information. It gives all the things. So it's a wonderful document to have in your toolkit that will help you at least begin the assessment of what types of waivers or flexibilities that you may be looking at for your organization. I like that. That was good. Okay. The other thing is you need to also understand any trends that could also be impacting external audits. So, you know, we came in on the changes for outpatient, for office and other outpatient service evaluation and management changes earlier in the pandemic. Also in 2023, you also had E&M code changes for other sites of service, your inpatient, ED, all the other areas. So those things are now ripe for auditing. Also, you got stuff going on with, and he mentions advanced artificial intelligence and machine learning tools to analyze and adjudicate claims prior to payment. So they got all kinds of stuff in their arsenal to easily find and track and trend for things that just don't look right, don't sound right, don't smell right, may not be right. Also, we talked about Medicare Advantage plans and how they are a continued focus of audit based particularly on the OIG report that said that Medicare made more than $50 billion in overpayments related to diagnoses that were not supported by medical records. And y'all know they coming for their money, right? Right. So that will also be a lot of probably scrutiny happening in that area as well. Some other areas, again, physician billing, surgeries with multiple services performed by the same surgeon, which must be billed together and cannot be billed separately by different physicians, and of course, telehealth. In the outpatient billing arena, surgeries such as orthopedic, spine, and neurosurgery, specialty drugs, and clinical justification for units administered for treatment, hospital observation care services, implants, medical devices, and laboratory services. Inpatient billing, short stay, rehab, DRGs driving higher healthcare costs, sepsis, cardiology, digestive system, and kidney. And then also payer mix. So closely monitor payer mix with a particular focus on Medicare and Medicare Advantage segments for high cost services. So check out those HCCs, CCs, MCCs, and DRGs. And again, you have the fact sheets that are there. Also utilize your revenue cycle team. Prayerfully, they have been on top of all of this and have some sort of internal controls to help in monitoring, how they have been billing, particularly under these waivers, so they know kind of what they need to do to undo them and go back. And then the last thing I want to mention, because we are close on time, the last thing I want to mention is he talks about an effective audit management process. And there are 6 measures of audit preparedness. It's request, so management of the request, respond to requests via electronic submission of medical documentation. You can use, there's something ESMD or other means. Evaluate, determine appeal options based on audit findings, educate providers and coders based on audit results, analyze, identify trends within external audits, and audit, proactively identify and correct issues. My thing is, and he's absolutely right, that you need to be prepared and start that monitoring now. I mean, you can do your own internal monitoring, just, to validate. And again, taking these steps, understand what you're looking at, gather the information and do a great assessment, and then monitor your internal controls. Take a look at some of these charts in a lot of areas we've given you, and he's provided great information on certain areas that you can definitely tackle if you have applied for those particular types of waivers. So, here you are with some knowledge and some strategies and information on determining how to be prepared for the external audits that will definitely be hitting your doorstep. So, Mr. Jesse, you have anything to?
When I read the article, the first thing I thought about was release the Kraken.
Oh.
These people they're ready.
They ready.
And we know there have been a whole lot of facilities that have been lacking. And they're about to see eventually.
And I'm just tickled and over the moon because, you know, you and I know the type of things I got going on in the background. So I'm like, oh yeah, here we are. Here we are. Yes,
And
crafty color.
then you're gonna have then you're gonna have these facilities who want to act like they're completely blindsided by all of this. We didn't
And
know.
you should never be. Yeah.
Okay.
Here you go. Oh my God, what are they talking about? This, that, and the third. No.
Exactly.
And hopefully, you know, your organization hasn't been operating in a silo where folks don't know what's going on. Everybody should be knowing what's happening and what's going on, and be prepared. Being prepared. Yeah, she said
Yes.
a big trick bag. Definitely. There's a question. How can I get what you are reading? I'm in orthopedics. I will put it in the description box, but I already owe you something anyway. So if you email me, I'll have your email address and I can send it to you as well. All right. Yeah. So that's a thing, to be prepared, and be prepared now. Like I said, I'm sure you won't get a stack of ADRs or requests on Monday. However, I believe it's going to be a hot audit summer.
Yes.
It's going to be a hot audit summer and fall. So be prepared. Be prepared. And I think that was a very good article. Like I said, you know, he has some services that he can definitely sell related to how to help you automate that, or put automation to that process. But the information he provided was wonderful. So I appreciate that. That was great. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh, here's some additional tea that we can share with our people. And if you are a coder in the revenue cycle, you too can assist in this area, because then you know some of the changes you've made. You see some of the things that have been going on, and some of the questions and some of the cases that you've been coding, and that type of things, and knowing, I'm sure you prayerfully have had information and meetings to discuss, okay, you know, this is how we're going to now do this during the public health emergency. Hopefully you still got the information about what those changes were that will help you seamlessly go back to what it's supposed to be prior to the PHE. So you all also can be instrumental and help in this process as well. She said, I won't end on the audits. Me and you both, ma'am. Me and you both. Cool. This is great. I didn't think I was going to get through it. I was looking at the time like, oh my God. Because it was a lot. I didn't want to really leave anything out, because to me, it flowed. It was sequential, and it was very strategic. So large organization, small organization, especially you all one off, brand new during the pandemic, opened up shop and had all these waivers, and folks was telling you, please, ma'am and sir, if you don't have a compliance professional or someone hired to do that work for you, or contracted to do that work for you, please reach out to your compliance friends and let them help you get this together. Oftentimes, you know, the small shops, they don't necessarily have that robust of an operation in revenue cycle, and it's okay. There are plenty of folks out here that can help you. So please don't get caught out here in that trick bag. please. Because they coming for you too. You're not exempt. Especially if you signed any of them waivers, they coming. All right. Well, this was good.
Yes.
I'm trying to see all the comments coming in. This is sad. Telehealth on a new patient, about to have all of them in court. Yes, because they relax a lot of that, and hopefully they understand. I mean, but the thing about telehealth is they're still in talks, because they understood the gains that were made because of the flexibilities and the waivers for telehealth, and it allowed access to a lot of people who may or may not have had access prior to that. And so there's a huge push and a huge fight to maintain a lot of the flexibilities that were provided through telehealth. So that one is going to probably go around and around for a minute. That one's going to swirl, I think.
I agree.
And I think it was great. I mean, I had a couple of telehealth services. Well, the one thing I got caught up with, I had telehealth services for my mom. The problem was, and the service was fabulous. We had no problems or whatever. And I had my iPad, and she, she'll never say anything anyway. She just be looking and pointing at me like, ask her. I'm like, no, you're the patient. They need to ask you. But then because when you go in person, you automatically go to the check-in desk. They automatically give you your appointment. You get right in the flow. They didn't do that after telehealth. So it was like, okay, well, thank you. And it was over and it clicked off. And there was no follow-up after to make sure, we need to see her back in 3 months or 6 months or whatever. And so she got out of the cycle of the appointment. That was the only issue I actually had. Then it put it on me like, oh my God, we haven't seen, and she needed some medication, or she needed a prescription she needed the physician to reorder or represcribe. And I was like, oh, we hadn't seen her, and so it caused a little hiccup in that. So that was the only thing, just, making sure that there's some additional processes on the back end to keep folks in the loop as they do their appointments, especially with your seniors. But other than that, it was great. She didn't have to get up. She didn't have to go nowhere. She was in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely correct. That whole thing. But you have telehealth, and you also have things related to that book of business as well. They're still behavioral health services. Those are the two that are actually still trying to fight and hold on to a lot of the flexibilities and waivers that occurred during the pandemic. And I want to say, I think a couple of things have been addressed in IPPS. There may be more things coming down the pike and addressed in the ops rules. So be on the lookout. More to come. But yeah, it's gonna be, but be prepared. I feel like singing the song for the Lion King, be prepared. Because it's coming. And again, there's room for all to assist in this endeavor, because it's gonna be, I mean, especially with some of these large organizations. Like I said, I gave my soapbox talk to the small ones, but with the large organizations too, I said 250,000 waivers were processed. So that's a lot of stuff that has to come to revert back, and a lot of processes and a lot of education and provider. And then say you got new people who didn't know what happened before. And that's a lot of moving parts, a whole lot of moving parts. And so just be strategic on how you operationalize this plan going forward, and that you touch everybody so that you don't have any cracks that folks can slip through. That's all I'm saying.
Most definitely.
Be prepared. She said, I'm gonna be prepared with a case of toner for my brother to print her. Yes. Printing all the stuff. That's right. Okay. Well, Mr. Jesse, you have any additional comments or thoughts or items you want to bring for the good of the...
I just think that it is a wonderful opportunity for people to, especially if you have any kind of interest in auditing, this would be your time to shine.
And we talked about that. We talked about, like, was it last week? The week before? Something we talked about recently. Look, have I just read it? About, the differences between coding and auditing and the mindset. Yeah, we did talk about that. Mm-hmm, yeah. Look, I know I talked about it. So yeah. So take a look at some of our more recent Saturday morning teas. We went through and gave some wonderful tea on how to, if auditing is now your bag and you want to transition or pivot in your role, here's an opportunity. And I would hope most organizations, at least the ones I have been associated with, have not only do they have external audits come in and assist them with some of their monitoring or putting some additional eyes on some things, but then you also have departments or folks internally who are also keeping watch and monitoring things as well. And we talked about that last week, even with the Pepper report and stuff. So, here's again an opportunity, and it doesn't take a whole lot. A few cases, in this case, I probably would do more than 10. I probably would do like 20, 25, just to be safe, especially if if it was a problem child prior to, the potential for it to be a problem child now is even greater, because you're going from something that was problematic initially, then a change in that system, and then going back to the problem. If you never corrected that problem, then it's still ongoing. So yeah, make sure y'all take a look at y'all stuff. Lord Jesus. You said, yep, the other week we talked about it. Yeah, so definitely, we are here to provide you with the information and the skills and the tools that you need to do all the things that your heart desires. Yes. Okay. Well, I think this is our wrap up. We are at the top of the hour. Thank you all again for joining the Saturday morning tea. Let me just ask, was the tea spilled today? Was it spilled? I'm sure it was. Yay. So if this information was valuable, and I forgot to say it at the beginning, but I'll say it now. If this information was valuable for you to help us, help us by sharing this message with others, by liking the video, sharing the video, and subscribing to the channel, Professional Reimbursement Network. You can also check out the Coding Nurse channel on YouTube and subscribe there. And as we close today, and as you begin to leave, don't forget to hit the thumbs up or like button at a bare minimum. But I'm looking to get my 10,000 subscribers for the year. So come on, y'all. Tell a friend. Tell them, hey, I know somebody that talks about XYZ. In your leisure time, as you scroll, why don't you take a look at some of the things that they talk about? And at a minimum, subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Appreciate y'all. Y'all share all kinds of other stuff. Y'all can share the good information that help people advance. Y'all want to share the fight videos and the all the other stuff. Y'all can share something that's been. All right. So next week, I guess this is also part of church announcement. Next week, we will be back with our Clubhouse friends. Again, Clubhouse has changed all kinds of things. And so I hopefully will have some more time to go through and understand what in the world is going on over there. But anyway, this has been a great session today. Thank you all for joining. And remember, be safe, be kind, and don't wish for it, work for it. Until next time, take care. Have a great weekend.